Preparing for a school project. Today, I want to talk about preparing for a school project that I have to complete. This project is for my history class, and it is very important. I will tell you about the steps I am taking to get ready, the research I am doing, and how I am organizing everything. Understanding the project. Our teacher gave us the details for the project last week. We need to create a presentation about an important historical event. I chose to do my project on the American Revolution because it is a topic that I find interesting. The American Revolution was a significant event in history, and I want to learn more about it and share what I find with my classmates. The project is divided into several parts. First, we need to research the topic and gather information. Then, we will create a presentation using PowerPoint or Google Slides. Finally, we will present our findings to the class. It sounds like a lot of work, but I am excited to get started. Researching the topic. The first step is to gather information about the American Revolution. I started by looking online for reliable sources. I found some useful websites that provide detailed information about the causes, events, and results of the revolution. I also went to the library to find books about the American Revolution. I borrowed a few books that have good explanations and interesting facts. When I do research, I like to take notes on important information. I use a notebook to write down key dates, names, and events. I also make sure to note where I found the information, so I can refer back to it later. It is important to keep my notes organized, so I can find everything easily when I start working on the presentation. Organizing the information. Once I have gathered enough information, the next step is to organize it. I want my presentation to be clear and easy to understand, so I need to arrange the information in a logical order. I decided to divide my presentation into several sections. 1. Introduction. I will start by introducing the American Revolution and explaining why it is important. 2. Causes. I will discuss the reasons that led to the revolution, such as British taxes and the desire for independence. 3. Key events. I will highlight some important events, such as the Boston Tea Party and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. 4. Results. I will explain the outcomes of the revolution and how it changed the United States. 5. Conclusion. I will summarize the main points and explain why the American Revolution is still relevant today. Creating the presentation. With my information organized, I started working on the presentation. I decided to use PowerPoint because it is easy to use and has many features that can help make my presentation look professional. I began by creating the slides. For each section, I made a separate slide. I used bullet points to highlight the main points, and included pictures to make the presentation more interesting. I found some historical images online that show important events and figures from the American Revolution. I also added some charts and maps to help explain the information. For example, I included a map showing the 13 original colonies and a chart of key battles. I think these visuals will help my classmates understand the material better. Practicing the presentation. After creating the slides, I need to practice presenting them. I want to make sure that I can explain everything clearly and answer any questions that might come up. I practiced speaking in front of my family first. I asked them to listen to my presentation and give me feedback. They helped me identify areas where I could improve and gave me some tips on how to speak more confidently. I also timed myself to make sure that my presentation fits within the allotted time. I need to stay within the time limit to ensure that I cover all the important points without rushing or going over time. Final touches. Before the presentation, I made sure to check everything one last time. I reviewed my slides to make sure there were no mistakes and that everything looked good. I also made a checklist to ensure that I have everything I need for the presentation day. My checklist includes presentation slides. Make sure they are saved and ready to go. Notes. Have a copy of my notes for reference. Equipment. Check that the computer and projector are working properly. Outfit. Wear something professional and comfortable. The day of the presentation. On the day of the presentation, I was a little nervous but also excited. I arrived at school early to set up my presentation and make sure everything was working. I felt more confident once I had everything prepared and ready to go. When it was my turn to present, I took a deep breath and started. I remembered to speak clearly and make eye contact with the audience. I used my notes as a guide and referred to the slides to help explain the information. Reflecting on the experience. After the presentation, I felt relieved and happy. I received positive feedback from my classmates and teacher. It was great to see that everyone was interested in the topic and asked good questions. I felt proud of the work I had done and the effort I had put into preparing for the project. Preparing for the school project was a lot of work, but it was also a valuable learning experience. I learned how to research a topic, organize information, and create a presentation. I also improved my public speaking skills and gained confidence in my ability to present in front of others. A nice walk in the morning. Today, I had a wonderful start to my day. I went for a walk in the morning, and it was such a nice experience. I want to tell you all about my morning walk, the things I saw, and how it made me feel. Waking up early. I woke up early today because I wanted to enjoy the cool morning air. My alarm rang at 6:30 a.m., and I got out of bed quickly. I like waking up early because it gives me a chance to start the day peacefully. I brushed my teeth, got dressed in my comfortable walking clothes, and put on my favorite sneakers. I was excited to go outside and enjoy the fresh air. Starting the walk. When I stepped outside, I felt the cool breeze on my face. The sky was clear, and the sun was just beginning to rise. The temperature was perfect, neither too hot nor too cold. I started walking at a steady pace, and I could hear the sound of birds chirping. It was a relaxing and pleasant way to begin the day. Observing nature. As I walked, I looked around and noticed many beautiful things. The flowers in the garden were blooming in bright colors. There were red, yellow, and purple flowers everywhere. I saw butterflies fluttering from flower to flower. And it was like watching a small, colorful dance. The trees along the path had fresh, green leaves that rustled gently in the wind. Some trees had small buds, and it was nice to see the signs of new life. I saw a few squirrels running up and down the trees, collecting nuts for their breakfast. They looked so busy and happy. Enjoying the quiet. The streets were quiet and peaceful. Most people were still asleep, and there were very few cars on the road. It was nice to have some time alone and to enjoy the calm of the morning. The silence was soothing, and it helped me clear my mind. I felt like I was in my own little world, away from the noise and busyness of daily life. Meeting people. As I continued my walk, I met a few other people who were also out for a morning stroll. I saw an elderly couple walking hand in hand, smiling and talking. They seemed very happy to be spending time together. I also saw a young man running with his dog. The dog was full of energy and kept stopping to sniff around. It was fun to watch them play and run. Breathing fresh air. The fresh air felt invigorating. I took deep breaths and enjoyed the clean, crisp air. It was a nice change from the stuffy indoors. Breathing in the fresh air made me feel more awake and energized. I could also smell the scent of grass and flowers. which was pleasant and calming. Reaching the park. After walking for about half an hour, I reached the park. The park is one of my favorite places to visit, because it has beautiful green spaces and a small lake. I walked around the lake and saw ducks swimming in the water. They looked so peaceful and content. I also saw children playing on the swings and slides. They were laughing and having fun. It reminded me of when I was younger and used to play at the park with my friends. It was nice to see people enjoying their time outside. Taking a break. I decided to take a short break and sat on a bench in the park. I took out my water bottle and had a sip. I looked around and enjoyed the view. The park was full of life, with people walking their dogs, joggers passing by, and families enjoying the morning. It was a wonderful sight, and I felt happy to be there. Reflecting on the walk. As I sat on the bench, I thought about how nice the walk had been. It was a great way to start the day and to connect with nature. I felt calm and relaxed, and it helped me clear my mind. I realized that taking a morning walk is a simple but effective way to improve my mood and energy levels. Heading home. After my break, I continued my walk back home. I felt refreshed and ready to start my day. The sun was higher in the sky now, and the temperature was warming up. I enjoyed the last part of my walk and took in the sights and sounds of the neighborhood. When I got home, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I had enjoyed a peaceful and pleasant morning walk, and it set a positive tone for the rest of the day. I was ready to tackle my tasks and responsibilities with a smile. Looking forward. I plan to make morning walks a regular part of my routine. They are a great way to start the day, and I look forward to exploring different routes and discovering new things along the way. I also want to invite my friends to join me for a walk sometime. It would be fun to share the experience with them and enjoy the fresh air together. Good night, and I hope you also have a chance to enjoy a nice walk in the morning someday. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Remember, keep listening and repeating. That's the best way to learn English. Don't give up. You are doing great. See you in the next video. Bye for now.